Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here for me. My name is Richard Ettl. I'm the co-founder and CEO of SMARTCONTAINERS Group. We are a Swiss technology company in the logistics space. The interesting part about logistics is it is the engine of global trade. Nothing that you order on Amazon just appears in front of your door. It's actually shipped. If it's made in China or if it's made in Korea, it still needs to be shipped to your door. This is a $2,100 billion annual industry. Part of that industry is cold chain. Roughly $250 billion is spent annually to ship cold chain, that means meat, that can be pharmaceuticals, around the world. Specifically pharma, more than $12 billion are spent on pharma. And this is actually where my company made its first applications. But it's not that easy to do logistics. It requires up to 200 communications to move a container or a product around the world. So this is actually quite cumbersome to do that. Today, we live in a different era where we can simplify things. And we have a new technology, which is the blockchain, that enables us to significantly leap forward and make things a lot more efficient. But let's start at what is logistics in a bigger context. Since 1970, the cost of logistics has consecutively fallen every single year. So it means every single year, it got cheaper to ship something around. I just ordered some knives from China. They cost $33. To ship them to my home in Switzerland, it costs $6. Incredibly cheap. The flip side of that is the majority of logistics companies don't earn money. How do logistics companies respond to this challenge? They scale through centralization. They're buying each other, they're installing SAPs, and so forth, because they want to centralize and reap bigger economies of scale. Not necessarily always successful. So this is an industry that's ripe for disruption. How can we address this? But in general, it's not the insiders that disrupt an industry, but it's an outsider. And it's Tesla as an outsider that developed not only the electric car, but the first autonomously driving car. So it's not Mercedes that had a bigger and longer track record. It's Apple that revolutionized the music industry and not Sony. And it's Amazon that revolutionized the way products are shipped around the world by starting out with book distribution in 1998. And then there's us. So what do we do next to these big names today? We combine hardware and software in a new way. And this enables us to create significant innovation. So this is myself and Nico. Nico is my co-founder. He's the techie. I have to do the rest in the company. And we saw the potential in blockchain. Through smart contracts, we can actually make blockchain 10x and more efficient. So this is significant. Nico is a little bit more radical, and he said we have to make the autonomous container. That means we will reduce the amount of admin work that goes into shipping products around the world significantly, because the containers administrate themselves through smart contracts. So where are we today as a company? So we're 5.5 years old. We have close to 50 man-years invested in R&D. We have close to 100 patents today. We started out in pharma distribution. So we designed containers to transport highly valued, temperature-sensitive pharmaceutical products. And in our industry, performance is measured in temperature deviations. So out of 100 shipments, how many times does the container not perform according to specifications? The market average in that industry is 8.5%. So 8.5% of all shipments don't work. Over the past 3 years, we have achieved less than 0.1% deviation. So that's more than 75 times better than the market leader today. So that's a significant step forward. And major pharmaceutical companies are using this today. Why are we successful? because we stuffed the containers full with Internet of Things sensors. So we've collected for more than 4 years about 1.3 billion data points about the supply chain, and we were able to work together with logistics companies to improve the logistics process. So it's a combination of hardware and software. We have 2 applications, 2 different brands. One is called SkyCell. This is the brand for pharma containers. And now, new, is Food Guardians, which is containers for the food industry. Because for about 4 years, roughly 4 years, we've been asked, can we use your containers to also transport high-value food products like salmon, tuna, meat? And we had to say no, because we focus on pharma. But now we can launch a second brand and do that. Where do we stand in the different companies? So SkyCell is today the 4th largest provider of containers in that sector. On average, we give 20% cost reduction to our clients. We are now recognized as the safest pharma container system on the planet. So this was our biggest breakthrough. And we have a high-level executive board of industry experts, an ex-CEO of an airline, board member of a major logistics company, Panalpina, venture capitalists from the biotech scene, and so forth. Now, food is our startup in the company, but we can leverage on what we've built on the pharma side. So we're designing containers that will secure food safety in these boxes of different sizes. Now, in a Western country like South Korea, this is not a problem, food safety. But if you go to Vietnam, this is already a big problem. We've identified many cases where distribution of food in a country is actually a huge opportunity, not just on the safety side, but also on the cost reduction side. So in food distribution, it's about cost efficiency also. And we can make it very affordable. So to give you an idea, to ship to your home could be done as little as less than $1. So less than $1 for protection of your products to your home. So this will significantly help in the breakthrough in this changing consumer that people want to have things shipped to their home instead of going to the supermarket. Where do we go tomorrow? How do you administrate, hopefully at some point, 10 million, 100 million boxes? This is where the blockchain comes in. Today, information is very centralized. In logistics, one person constantly has to check up on where is the product in the supply chain. In the future, we want to turn this the other way around. The information is attached to the container or the parcel. Doesn't matter what size. And thus, it reduces significantly the amount of effort for one person to check up on the container or on the parcel. So how do we do this? We virtually mirror the shipment on the blockchain. And we need 2 parts. One, we need a public blockchain part where you have certain parcel specifications, the weight, the temperature, maybe some material safety data sheets, so that people in the logistics chain can handle the product. But then you have many other documents that should stay private. And here, this could be smart contracts, executing the transfer of ownership. These could be the transport order. This could be the storage conditions of a special product. And this can be also customs documents. So we're experimenting with other blockchains. So we're not reinventing a blockchain, but we're using other protocols and building on that. So we're actually an application. And that's why all the big blockchain companies actually come to us and say, come on, try NEM, or try EOS, or try Ethereum in a combination with others. So what we're trying to create is actually the logi chain. It's a logistics ecosystem to move products in the supply chain. So it's an open source ecosystem where the majority of the functionality should be for free and open to all users. At the same time, add-on services like payments, insurance, etc., that you have to pay for in this logistics ecosystem. Last but not least, it creates a seamless and fully autonomous smart container solution, which is paperless and email-free. The end result is actually that we are solving logistics, which is a decentralized problem, we're giving it a decentralized solution. So instead of one information about a shipment always being transferred into one ERP system of a company, it's put onto the blockchain, and it's available to all different stakeholders. So it reduces the amount of shippings, it lowers the cost, and it frees up manpower. What we're doing, we're a Swiss company, we're doing an ICO. We're actually emitting 2 tokens, so it's a little bit special. We're doing on the one side a profit share token on the growing container business, and the second one is this ecosystem. We recognize we can't put this under one roof, because if we put the ecosystem under the roof of the container business, we think that the competition will not use it. So that's why we decided, let's put it in a separate entity so we can remain neutral. Switzerland is a very neutral country, so that actually made sense to us. This is the management team, so it's myself and Nico as the co-founders, and we had to have a multitude of people. We're close to 45 people now, building up the company over the past 5 years. Now, if you do an ICO, you need advisors. This is not our core business, so we went out and we found some really good ones. Quite known is Oliver Bussmann, who is the president of the Crypto Valley Association in Switzerland, and he was the CIO of UBS worldwide. To run an ICO, you also need technology partners, so that's where we partnered up with Lücke, which is the leading exchange in Switzerland. We then recognized if you build an ecosystem, you actually need a professor that can help you how do you design an ecosystem and how do you run an ecosystem. So that's why we had to get Dr. Fabian Scher as our support as a professor in finance and blockchain. Also, how do you drive token economics? We had to get a specialist in altcoin trading, and last but not least, we need to talk about our project, so that's why we hired Waxman PR. So why should you invest? We're an up-and-running company, so this is actually a little bit different from all the other ICOs. We're sort of the ICO 2.0, with an existing business that's using an ICO to scale. We're moving away from a pure business-to-business company to more of a business-to-consumer company, and that's why we're reaching out to investors all around the world. We want our investors to be our ambassadors, talking about us all around the world, identifying business cases for us to solve. Through the ICO so far, we actually got 2 interesting business cases. One was actually in Vietnam. The 3rd largest family in Vietnam has a hotel chain, and they're seriously concerned about the food safety, and that's why they want to insource this logistics aspect. The second one is the 2nd largest salmon producer in Norway, because we recognized he's losing about 10% of his salmon, not being able to ship it successfully around the world. So these are 2 cases that we got through the ICO so far. So it's on the one side a fundraising campaign, but also an opportunity campaign. We're a Swiss high-tech company, previously only open to biotech and high-net-worth individuals from Switzerland. Now we're looking for a global investor base, and it's a highly profitable logistics ecosystem that we're building. But this is not all what I want to show you today. For the past 3 years, we invested seriously amount of energy in developing our next generation of containers. I'm not talking about a big container. I'm talking about a small container. Can you bring it to me? Okay. So we developed for 3 years a new way to ship pharmaceuticals to your home. So, okay, it's not broken. It's designed that way. So it's actually a system, so this can actually happen in real life. So logistics is full of surprises. We developed a system to ship pharmaceutical products directly to your home instead of getting it from a pharmacy. So this will change significantly the way you can get pharmaceuticals when you need them. It will significantly ease the life of people that have chronic diseases, so that are taking medications every day for the rest of their lives. And it will also secure the safety of these products. I'm going to put it down. So this is actually how it looks like. So imagine that in the future, pharmaceuticals are delivered by DHL or FedEx to your home, to your hotel, instead of having to go out to the pharmacy. So far, there is no competitor in this field. We believe this is a $5 billion market opportunity. It's so big we can't miss it. And we would be happy if you join us in making this a reality. Thank you very much for your time.